you want to be a travel blogger, it sounds like.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Does that scare you?
Not at all. I'm pushing myself quite a lot. Even before my parents passed, I had the goal, okay, I want to make my illustration job and so on. But here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
I'm doing this since, like I said, I mean, I draw for more years now, but I started the online business 2021. So
yeah.
And I'm not making that much income. Sometimes there are months where I'm making nothing. And that's totally fine because I'm at the beginning. I also have, that's also good to know. I have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I love making videos. I'm learning so much. I started TikTok. I have my homepage. I'm writing blog posts. Mel, I also wrote a blog post about you.
Oh, I'll have to read it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because there's a huge theme here. You guys noticing the theme with everybody? You guys all have lots of stuff going on. And that's an important thing if you need to have a lot of stuff going on to make ends meet. Mm. And I love that you're saying that your illustrations and that store is at the very beginning of the process, and that's going to take time. That's true. But here's what I don't hear. What do you want your life to look like?
I want this to go pretty well. I want to be able, like I wrote, I want to be able to travel. And my goal is to make this happen next year. And
So what do you mean by travel? See, the other thing I'm going to keep pointing out to everybody is that before you can figure out the plan or the map to get where you want to go, you got to pick your head up and point at what you want. And the more specific the destination, the better. It is impossible to give you great guidance and coaching if I don't know exactly what you want. Because here's the thing, if you really wanted life where you travel, I can tell you 10 travel bloggers that you should follow. You can stalk their stories, and with your skills, you could probably be making money and doing that full time in a matter of 3 to 6 months, because there are magazines that are looking for freelancers to do that. Once you get with one hotel, they connect you with another hotel. Once you start tagging people, cafes, it is one of those things that builds. You've told me you have no debt, that you have savings, that you have a job that is 12 hours a week that is not keeping you somewhere. So what do you actually want?
I know when I do this next year. So my first goal is to go to Japan again for 3 months. Okay. And I know that at my part-time job, they won't let me go and say, okay, it's unpaid vacation. And when you come back here, you can start again. So I know, okay, it's kind of.
So here's what's interesting. You ready? Yeah. I'm going to push you a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Do you have, is that house that you're sitting in a place that you own that you have to pay for?
Nope, it's a flat. And it's the flat of my best friend. And I have to pay such less money.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Your whole life is organized around what's happening at this 12-hour-a-week job.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know why I'm pointing that out?
No.
We are in the single best job market in 40 years.
What was my best job?
No. This is the best job market in 40 years. People cannot find people to work.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you're organizing your entire life around a part-time job.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
Yeah, I have the exact same thought. They are
no, but where
jobs.
Am I going? Where am I going? I'm going to push you.
There are shitty jobs out there everywhere. I can.
There's a shitty job in Japan waiting for you.
Yeah, everywhere. I know. Yeah.
Your issue is courage.
Yeah. That's fun because courage is one of my things that I'm keeping pushing myself. Okay. Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah. That's right.
I have a feeling that you holding on to where you are has to do with grieving.
Grieving and maybe, okay, my because I have a partner and he also lives here. But I think we can maybe hopefully figure something out.
Elena?
Yeah.
Hope is for children on Christmas morning who hope that they're going to get a certain present. You are a 33-year-old brilliant woman who has taken control of her healing, who has figured out how to set up an entire business around your illustrations. You have paid off your debt. You have savings. We are no longer in a game of hope. We are in the business of creating a life that's amazing. And that begins the moment you wake up and go, what the fuck am I doing? I'm worried about this job. I am going to call a meeting tonight with my partner and I'm going to say, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are going to reinvent our lives. Fuck it. Let's figure out how to go to Japan for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because this shitty job's going to be here. And so is this flat when we decide we don't like it. And if I burn through my savings trying to figure something out because I can't figure out how to make that work, then I'll just save more money.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
I'm writing courage big on
courage. And courage means action.
Yeah.
You're going to feel afraid, but this is the day.
No, that's normal growth.
You're not going to grow in that flat. And you're not going to grow next year. And I'm not going to allow you to wait another year.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I'm feeling. Every time I wake up, I'm doing my stuff and I'm doing quite a lot of stuff. And I wrote it also to you. Wait, let me point this out.
I saw it. I don't need this. You don't need that. I don't need this story. I don't care how much you're doing. You're doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fucking busy too. And for a long time, it was the wrong stuff, which is why I was miserable.
The only thing I felt, why I feel so, why I ask you if it's naive or so, because I'm not making that much income or not at all income now. This is
who cares? Who cares? So you're not making a lot of income, which only means if you stay in the place that you're in, you're going to stay trapped because you don't have enough income. You're not going to have enough income next year either.
Yeah.
Take a risk. Live a little. You can come back to this.
Yeah. This was exactly what I was feeling the whole time.
Well, I hope this is exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Because feeling it, unless it activates action, you might as well just fart because it doesn't do anything. Like it just is like, you need to get frustrated and say, I'm done with this. I am sick of myself. In fact, let's pick a date right now. What day are you going to Japan or going to another country or quitting this job? Give me the day. Let's commit publicly right now. It's March 22nd.
March or April.
Give me a date. Let's pull the calendar.
Okay, let's say April the 1st.
April 1st? Hell yes. All right, great. You're going to keep us posted on where you're doing and what your plan is.
I will.
Will you put Glow Autonomo, her account in the in Instagram? Thank you. She started travel blogging, I think 7 years ago. And really amazing woman, really good friend of mine, super inspiring.
Okay.
She'll give you tips. And I think on her YouTube channel, she's got all kinds of stuff about how to get started. She's killer.
I also haven't found an illustrator who does this because I would love to incorporate both.
Listen, I think your ideas are incredible. Go do them.
Okay.
Here's an illustration. You ready?
Yeah.
Give us an illustration of the moment that you got off your ass and quit that job. And then give us an illustration of you like buying the plane ticket. And then give us an illustration of how scared you are as you see the savings go down a little. And then give us an illustration of what your partner looks like when he's like, wait, what? We're going where? And then give us an illustration of your first day in Japan.
Yeah.
And then take us on the journey with you.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I can't wait. And what we're going to talk a lot about today is we're going to talk about this principle that I believe. And the principle is this: profound personal and professional change starts with you. That's right. Profound personal and professional change starts with you. And change starts with you because the most effective change starts from the inside out. Okay? And so as you think about a behavior change or a thinking pattern change that you want to make, or some sort of goal or dream, I want you to take everything that I'm about to teach you and have that example in mind, okay? So that everything that I'm talking about isn't just stuff I'm doing in my life, isn't just stuff that you read about when you look at the research in terms of habits and manifesting, but that you actually walk away with takeaway that is specific to what you want to achieve, okay? So good. So you've dreamed with the lid off. You've written it into the comments. Now, let's start by letting me give you a hack. I'm going to share with you something that I'm working on right now, okay? So one of the things that I want to do is I want to drink less in my life. I have a habit, and I've had a habit for decades, of around 6 o'clock when I start cooking dinner, I typically will pour myself a drink. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that I do as a ritual to kind of end the workday and ease into being, in the more personal part of my life. And as I've gotten older, as I've started to understand more about my health, I thought, I actually don't want to be doing that every night. And so I would make this sort of promise to myself that I wouldn't have a drink, and then 6:30 would roll around, and next thing you know, I am mindlessly walking over to the cabinet where the gin is, and I'm making a gin and tonic. And it's not that I feel that I have a problem. It's that I was having a problem getting a new habit to stick. And so here is one hack that is based in science that is going to help you make any new habit stick. And yes, this is relating to manifesting. But what is this little hack? Well, this little hack is something that taps into what's called your procedural memory, okay? And let me tell you how you use the hack. So with that thing, that behavior change, I saw some of you writing down that you want to make more money, you want to stop procrastinating, you want health goals. Here is a hack that you can use using your procedural memory to make a new habit stick. All you have to do is you need to close your eyes and picture yourself step by step by step, practicing the new behavior or thinking pattern. So in my case, this is what it looks like. I close my eyes and I think, okay, I'm in the kitchen. I turn to my left and I can see the red clock and I visualize it saying 6:30. I feel the pull of the cabinet where the gin is, but I picture myself walking over to where the glasses are instead. And then I take a glass And then I picture myself walking over to the fridge, and then I open up the fridge, and then I reach for the kombucha, and then I pull it out, and I grab a lime, and then I grab a soda water, I shut the fridge, and then I pour a kombucha, I pour a little soda water, I take the peeler, I peel the lime, so I get that neat little lime strip, and I see it twisting, and I see the little kind of, like when you twist citrus, it sort of like sprays that little stuff, and then I drop it into the glass, and I see myself picking it up, and I see myself sipping my mocktail. I don't even want the gin. This tastes delicious. You want to know something fascinating? Research that has been peer-reviewed shows that simply going through that procedure of the new habit or thinking pattern, step by step by step, by going step by step by step, you are locking in a new sequence in your procedural memory. And based on research, that one time that you do it makes it way more likely that when 6:30 rolls around, you are not going to drink the gin, you are going to make the mocktail. Now, why does this work? Well, the reason why this works is because you're using science to rehearse the new behavior or the new situation or the new thinking pattern and to encode it in your brain before you actually do it. And when you use your procedural memory to rehearse something that you want to have become a new habit or a new way of acting in your life, you're basically putting it in your long-term memory. Now, what is your procedural memory? Well, your procedural memory is the part of your brain that has stored all the motor skills, like writing, like picking up a glass and drinking, like walking. It is all stored in your procedural memory. The reason why you and I can walk without thinking about it, or talk, or skip, or brush our teeth is because we have rehearsed that sequence, that procedure, that series of events over and over and over again. And now it's locked into my brain, into my procedural memory. Now, here's what's really cool, everybody. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an event that you have closed your eyes and imagined and an event that you've actually done. And what's happening in your brain when I visualize myself making that mocktail step by step by step by step is I am making connections between the gaps at the end of the neurons in my body, the synapses, and every time I either imagine that sequence of events or I practice it, we're making that connection between neurons stronger and stronger and stronger. And so here's what's really cool. What I just told you is manifesting. Seriously. Manifesting done correctly is when you use your procedural memory as a tool to train your brain, your nervous system, your spirit to help you feel motivated and to help you do the work that actually changes your life. How cool is that? I want to be very clear about something. Manifesting gets a bad rap because of the law of attraction. But manifesting is not woo-woo at all. It's not a cheesy topic. Manifesting is not just think about something that you want and suddenly it'll magically appear. No. Manifesting is when you use your procedural memory and you visualize the step by step by step actions that you need to take in order to make your big goal or the thing that you want or the new habit to become a reality. You see, manifesting isn't the end, everybody. Manifesting is the bridge. It's the series of actions that you're going to take in order to have this new habit. And when you rehearse something and when you encode it in your procedural memory, what actually happens is because it's now something that your brain recognizes, the walking to the other cabinet, not where the gin is, the opening up the fridge and grabbing the kombucha instead of grabbing the gin in the cabinet. When you rehearse this over and over, you are lowering the limbic friction, the friction in your mind, the resistance that you feel. You are lowering that resistance, and that is how manifesting helps you achieve your goals. Let me focus you real quick, because I do think you have a really interesting idea.
Okay.
And here's the challenge with a really interesting idea.
I'm all ears.
It's so big.
It is. That's why I think I've hesitated.
And there's so many things you could do. And there's so many places to start and so much need to fill. And we've already gone from the military to first responders to here. And here's the good part of that. When you're somebody that continues to magnify things and to build, that just means that your vision, your heart, and your impact are just huge. That's a great thing.
But it paralyzes me, Mel.
Well, let me tell you how we're going to get started. Okay. So number one,
I can't believe it.
I personally think that what you need to do first, and you may already be doing this, is I personally believe that starting a Facebook group or using a platform called Circle, but you might want to start on Facebook only because I think what you could easily do is create a groundswell here. And I would keep them. Maybe you have this whole idea of people that are in these, whether it's first responder or military, Marines being one, Army probably a different one, that because there's different kind of knowledge to how the different systems work, right? And the different armed forces and whether or not you're a first responder. And so here's where I would start. I would start with what you know and the thing that calls you the most. And I would start a Facebook group. And I would literally, this is going to sound crazy, but I would literally use Facebook as a training ground for yourself to declare that you are building a place online for people to come and to connect with one another and to get the help and the information that they need. That's number one. Number two, your role is going to be to run the group and to also, I think you need to be going live in the group and you need to pick a topic every day or a particular person that wrote in with a question.
Wow.
And talk about the answer. And this is how you're going to start to build content. And this is the way you get going.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm going to recommend this approach for you is because I think you need a groundswell before you're going to feel like you can go, okay, this free group is amazing. Now what I'm going to do is for X dollars a month, you can join a managed community that's dealing with this particular topic. And then you put them on a platform. And so when I found out, so let me tell you why I think this approach is really important.
Okay.
When I started investigating getting my breast implants taken out, I found out once I pulled the medical records. I mean, I just wanted them out because I hated them. But when I pulled the medical records, I found out that the implants that I had put in 4 years ago had been recalled because they were causing lymphoma in women. And I didn't even know. And so they fast-tracked the surgery. And as soon as I started stumbling into the world of what they call explant surgery, everybody kept recommending this private Facebook group. I mean,
Wow.
anytime I talk to somebody, they're like, oh my God, you got to join this Facebook group. You got to join. Oh, you get in the X plan. It's run by this woman. And there were hundreds of thousands of women in this private Facebook group, all talking about breast implant illness, explant surgery, passing information about surgeons. And it was the most helpful resource I had ever experienced.
Wow.
And I believe that is where you should start, because I think the groundswell would happen so quickly that people would start to recommend it to each other. And that's how I would get started. Because when you're somebody like you and me, big thinkers, big ideas, big impact, big vision, you literally spend years thinking about how big this could be.
That's the last 3 years, at least 4 years for me. And it's
and you just need a simple system. You need a place to go every day so you feel like you're doing the thing. Okay.
Yeah. No,
what did you get from this?
Facebook. Yeah, I think that's starting something, because again, it's big, but I need to narrow it down and funnel. I did sign up for the B course, Maria's class as well, because I didn't know how to funnel. There's so much I want to do. I
think if you were to just give yourself permission for a couple months, that I'm just got a big vision. I'm going to build the biggest community of veterans helping each other and helping new people into the Marines. And you start there.
Okay.
And you get the word out. There's so much information to share. There's so much frustration that I experienced because I didn't know any better. I want to share that knowledge. I want to help people. I think you should start there, because I promise you that thing is going to take on a life of its own, and then it's going to become very relevant what is in B school and what to do with it. And look, if you have that place to come to every day, it's going to lift your spirit and your confidence. So even if you're working somewhere else and you're making ends meet and you're making the bills, like get paid, and that's not your dream, then you have something every day where you are literally laying a brick on this path that you're walking down.
It's so true.
It's so true.
True.
And that will take on a life of its own. And, for those of you, by the way, who are working while you're launching your business, that's fantastic. All the research shows that the people that keep their jobs while they're launching something are more successful. And the reason why is because you're not putting financial pressure on your dream. You're giving your dream and your business that you're launching the runway that it needs, and you're giving yourself the permission to build it over time. And that allows you to make different decisions than if you're trying to launch this thing and you're like, I got to pay my mortgage and I got to get the website. Like, it's a totally different ballgame. And so it's a good thing. And a second piece of advice for everybody that is launching something and still working full time, figure out what you can do at your current job or a new job that somebody else is paying you that teaches you something that's going to help you in this business. So even if you take a job working a front desk at a digital marketing agency, you're actually just in that world and you're around people that are in that world. Or if there are projects at work where people need help with email campaigns, raise your hand, even if you don't know anything about it, because it then teaches you something that is relevant to the larger vision and the thing that you're building over time. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Yeah,
Terrific.
no, thank you, Mel. So
terrific.
Much.
So what did you get out of this?
Start small with a Facebook conversation targeted with just the questions, I think that is probably the first step, because then I'm going to get all the information or the questions that are the concern, and it'll funnel through giving me the now platform to now how did I solve it? Like you said, I don't have all the answers. I don't, but I know what I went through and how it can help them. And I do want to help others see
Great.
the light. And so
I think it's perfect. You're super clear. It's very focused. It's something you can do every day while you're still dealing with your life. And it's going to build momentum quickly if it's on Facebook.
Mhm.
And you'll learn a lot by starting it. And it's a very simple message to spread. I'm starting this thing. I want a place for people to gather. Every day I'm going to answer a question and give people resources. And I'm inviting everybody to jump in and do the same. And
Do
that's
you
it.
feel that Facebook is the biggest versus Instagram, or I don't do very
1,000%
much.
Facebook.
Okay.
1,000%
Because
Facebook.
there's
Because
so
there's
much.
no group feature on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can take your teachings and post them on Instagram and on YouTube, but the
Okay.
place where people can comment and share and connect with each other is Facebook.
It's Facebook.
Even though Facebook, has got
It's
all
old people.
negative stuff. Well, so what? A lot
Yeah.
of young people on there too. And trust me, like it was one conversation. And then all I heard in my explant journey was, you got to do that group on Facebook, that group on Facebook, that group on Facebook.
Kidding.
And I would imagine the bigger you get, the more people be like, oh, you're joining. Oh, make sure you sign up with that Facebook group. And by the way, do not be discouraged if you go to start this and you start to see other Facebook groups that sound similar.
Sure.
That doesn't mean your idea has been taken. It means your idea is needed. And only you, only you are going to do your idea your way. So any decision can be divided into what do I need to do versus how and when do I need to do it. For the what, that is intuition. And by intuition, I use the word energy. And the way to answer any question for yourself personally that you don't immediately know the answer to is to ask this question. Does it energize and expand my life, or does it shrink it? If it energizes and expands your life, the answer is hell yes. You should absolutely do it. That is what you should do. If the decision shrinks you or it deflates you, then the answer is hell no, you should not do it. This is an incredible tool to use in deal making, by the way, because I'm in the middle of negotiating a massive media deal at the moment, and it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when you're negotiating for something you really want, whether it's somebody that you're dating or it's a salary or whatever, in my case it's a massive media deal, you can get really ego driven, right?
Right.
And you can start to get very attached to the deal or to the person or
Yeah.
to the whatever. But you have to stop and ask yourself, is this deal or this person actually expanding
Right.
and energizing me? Or are there aspects of it that deplete and shrink me? And if there's any aspect of it that depletes and shrinks, you either have to change that aspect of the deal or the relationship structure, or you have to say no. Period.
Right.
If you decide that, yeah, it energizes me and I really want to do it, then that's what you want. Next, you've got to think about the outcome, which is how and when you make it happen.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%.
Cool.
At what point did you find your purpose? Because for me, I'm an entrepreneur for 15 years, and most of my career, I chased the money. I because of my upbringing, you talked a lot about how we were conditioned growing up, and I always felt I had something to prove to my dad. I always,
Was he really successful or why?
No, he wanted me to go to Princeton. He wanted me to be this smart kid. He wanted me to play basketball. He wanted me to, he worked at Prudential, and that was the first company I knew of. And he would just always talk about Prudential, and how successful that was, and how he wanted that for me. He wanted me to become successful. He wanted me to become highly educated. He wanted me to become the best in my class. He wanted me to make high honor roll.
And did you?
No.
Well, was it?
But I tried. I always was trying to prove.
Or was there a little bit of you resented the pressure, and so you acted out and didn't do it? Because clearly, come on, you founded Elite Daily.
Yeah.
Everything you invest in goes and is a huge success. you're a really smart guy when you want to put the fucking work in. And so there was an aspect about your personality that I already know that you don't like being told what to do.
Yes. For sure. Oh, forget it. If I feel like I'm put into a box, I'll freak out. Like I need that freedom, that flexibility, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
And so one of the things for you to think about personally and as an entrepreneur is that your dad gave you the greatest gift in the world, because when you realize anytime that you're in a box that felt like what it was like to be with your dad, because he had aspirations for you that looked a certain way. This is not about making your dad right or wrong.
Right.
It's about what you respond to energetically as a human being.
Right.
No deal that you ever do and no relationship that you are ever in will ever work if you feel like somebody is setting the expectations for you. Full stop.
Yeah.
So it's not that, like, the new story for you, what happened is your dad had high aspirations, you didn't achieve them, so you as a kid started telling yourself a story that you got to prove something to your dad, right? What I'm here to tell you is the new chapter for you is recognizing that what you learned from your father is that you're successful when you define the expectations for yourself. But for your dad, you wouldn't have learned that.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It took me so long to realize that. I can't even tell you how many times I really felt I had to prove something to him because I didn't meet those other expectations. And I finally, I mean, it just took me till getting to my 30s to realize I don't have anything to prove, and that I define what success really is for me in my life and what makes me happy. And he loves me no matter what, both my parents do. And I'm blessed for the mentorship that he gave me, as well as my mother. But I feel that in my early 20s, when I first felt that school wasn't for me, and I decided to drop out my first semester, I went all in to trying to figure out the internet and the online business and all those things. I chased the money for a really, really long time, and I always was creative. I loved creating content and marketing and all those things, but I don't think I ever really thought about like my purpose. And I think that a lot of us in our 20s, we really don't. But I think now there's so much content on social media now.
I don't think you should.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think you should. So here's the thing. I think you should chase what energizes you. Everyone talks about passion, legacy, purpose, blah, 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 blah. The one word to pay attention to is energy.
I love that.
That's it. Let's simplify this.
Okay.
So whatever energizes you, naturally expands you, feels like possibility, is exciting to do. It may be scary, that doesn't matter. It has to do with how it makes you feel.
Right.
When you were in your 20s, money made you feel good. It expanded you. It energized you. Chasing the money, that was the game. That was your passion. That was your There's nothing fucking wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And I particularly want to say that to the women that are watching.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because it is socialized into women not to chase success like that, not to go after the money. And so if what energizes you is amassing wealth, go for it. But and the reason why I say that is because people talk about the word passion or purpose.
Right.
And the truth is, it's not a person, place, or a thing. It's not. It is the feeling of being expanded and energized.
Right.
If you're pursuing your passion, it means that you wake up every day and are energized. So instead of trying to think, what's my purpose? What's my passion? What's my purpose? What's my passion? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking like that, I want you instead to ask yourself, what could I do today that would energize me? What energizes me? If it's making money, figure out how to make money.
Right.
If it is making a difference, figure out how to make a difference. It could be in any single shape or form. But if it energizes you, that's what you need to follow. And what happens is that passion also, because it's energy, it dissipates over time. Because when you first start making money, it's fucking thrilling.
Yeah.
Thrilling. There is nothing more exhilarating than making your first million.
Yeah.
Nothing more exhilarating. Yeah. But what happens is once you learn how to do something once, you can do it over and over again. And so it starts to become routine, which means it's no longer energizing.
Right.
Which is why every entrepreneur out there goes through the mode of chasing the money, and then you hit the money that you need to make, and then you're like, I'm not fulfilled. What's my purpose? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I went through that.
I need to find the light. You know, I did the, everybody does.
Yeah.
And it's because you were energized by the money, and now you're not.
Yeah.
Now you got to be energized by the next thing.
Yeah.
And for you, it's clearly service. It's clearly making a difference. It's empowering others. And so when I look back on my trajectory, the thing that energizes me is making people feel like they matter. It's that simple. It is giving people hope in a situation where they don't have it. It is shining a light on the path forward when somebody feels stuck in darkness. And now that I know that those moments are the things that make me get up out of bed and energize me, I can trace back all the way to the moment of being a public defender in Manhattan, 22 years old, straight out of law school, and defending a kid who, and I met him for the first time. He had been arrested. I met him during night court in New York City. I was a brand new young attorney, and this kid had been arrested, and he had been arrested for throwing a champagne bottle in the middle of Times Square on New Year's Eve, and it had come down on a woman and had sliced her face open.
Oh my God.
And he had been ID'd and pointed at by her friends as allegedly the kid who had done it. And he was a junior in high school. And he had gotten in trouble. I think he had like a juvie record for, you know, like some petty bullshit shoplifting or something when he was 12, but that was it. High school kid on his way to go to junior college, mom working hard, terrified, absolutely terrified. And I met him because he had been arrested, and you know the family couldn't afford a lawyer, and I was a legal aid criminal defense attorney, and I was assigned to represent him. And I remember walking back into the cages behind the judge's bench, because if you look at a judge in a courtroom, there's two doors typically, one to the right, one to the left. One of those doors leads to the hallway, which is what all the court officers and administrative workers walk to, that's behind the court system. The other one leads to cages that are behind the judge, which is where they hold the inmates as they're waiting to come in and get arraigned, or they're waiting, you know, for the trial. And so I walked back there and I called out this kid's name, and I just remember him asking, is my mom out there? Is my mom out there? And I said, look, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna make you two promises. I'm gonna get you out of here tonight, and I'm gonna do everything I can to, because he was like, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it. And I promised him, I said, I'm gonna get you out of here tonight, and I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to clear your name. And I remember the relief in his face. And he said, you believe me? I said, of course I believe you.
Gave him hope.
Holy shit. That moment, my heart blew open. And it's those moments where you give somebody hope, where you show them the path forward, where you're stronger and clearer in that moment than they are. So now they can be.
Yeah.
And that's what I show up and do every single day. And I've only become more emboldened because we have a platform.
Yeah.
And what the platform on social media and on the speaking circuit, and now as you know, an author whose work is in 36 languages.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, and that's happened in 16 months. The book has been translated in 16.
And the podcast, I'm like, you got to #1, freaking like that, like lightning.
Well, yeah, we did. It's incredible. Behind that, you know, like I'm just thinking about what it took to get to #1 like that. It took 10 fucking years of schlepping and failing and being a public defender and doing other things. And so,
what was the shift? I'm really curious about what was the shift for you that went from criminal defense attorney to saying?
None of it was conscious. None of it was conscious. And that's why I say follow the energy.
Yeah.
Because If my husband hadn't gotten into a business school up in Boston, I'd still be in New York City making $19,000 a year as a legal aid attorney. That's what I'd be doing, because I loved being a fighter for people that didn't have people fighting for them. I loved that, and I still do that today.
Right.
The people that our audience are people who want to do better. It's people that want to be happier, people that want to do more for their families, people that want to pursue their dreams, and I am fighting. I'm fighting the bullshit for you.
Yeah.
I'm fighting your self-doubt, I'm fighting your anxiety, I'm fighting your excuses, I'm fighting the stories that you've had since childhood, and I show up every day to remind you of who you are.
Right.
And to remind you that you can do this if you put in the work. And if you give up your timeline, and if you're good to people, and if you're positive, and if you cheer for other people. And the fact that our platform has grown so fast and our engagement is so big makes me better at what I do, because we literally hear from 1,000 people a day who are either struggling or who have used some small thing that we've said and it has improved their lives or their relationships. And that makes me not feel
It gives you that energy.
It gives me energy. Thank you. It doesn't go here, it goes here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's also why I'm so intellectually curious, because if one 5-second rule tool can help the millions of people that it's helped, imagine if we keep going and digging and sharing other simple things.
Right.
Imagine the number of people that we can empower and help and encourage and help them make their own lives better. Okay, can I give you some coaching real quick? Can I give you some coaching? Yes. Okay, you ready? This is a super cool trick, everybody. You're about to see me change her. Okay, here we go. Tell you what we're gonna do. All right, so 0 to 10, how nervous are you right now?
I'm thinking like 11.
Okay, great. Can you describe what's happening in your body?
I'm warm. I'm getting sweaty.
Awesome. Are your pits starting to sweat now? Okay, yeah, she's getting warm under here, everybody. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay, they're perfect. Just like keep moving them like you're dancing. Okay, great. What else is happening as you're an 11?
I can't stop smiling.
Okay, okay. Terrific. So like the anxiety and the nerves are through the roof.
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, see, she doesn't even know where she is. All right, great. So let's make it worse. Let's go on stage. Okay. Everybody give her a round of applause. Okay, here we go. Okay, come here. Okay. All right, 0 to 10. How nervous are you? Did it go higher?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, going higher, everybody. Do you have a neck rash yet? It's getting there. Yeah, I used to get that all the time. Yep. Okay, so I want you to just kind of look out and look at everybody. How many? Yeah. Great, great. Okay, so I'm going to teach you something really cool. You ready? Yeah. Your body doesn't know the difference, everybody, between nervousness and excitement. Okay. So tell me, who's your favorite band?
Nirvana.
Okay, so let's say, well, I realize Kurt Cobain isn't here, but if he were, and if they were playing, and you had a front row seat, how excited would you be?
Oh, God, I'd be so excited. I'd be crying.
Yeah, and would you have a neck rash?
I don't know. Actually, I'd be sweating.
You'd be sweating? Yeah? Yep. Would your heart be racing?
Yeah.
Are those all the things that are happening right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so your body, everybody, has the same physiological response to nerves and excitement. Exact same. The only difference between you being able to see Nirvana and you standing here looking out at everybody else and you're the one on stage is what your brain is saying about it. So I'm going to teach you a really cool trick.
Okay.
So the next time you're nervous, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm so excited, and then say whatever you're doing. So start going, I'm so excited to be up here.
I'm so excited to be up here.
Say it again.
I'm so excited to be up here.
Say it again.
I'm so excited to be up here.
Say it again.
I'm excited to be up here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's walk. Say it again.
I'm so excited to be up here. I'm so excited to see everyone here.
Okay, so 0 to 10, how do you feel?
I feel great.
Right? It goes down, right?
Yeah.
So fear builds when you let it sit. It actually lowers the moment you move. And that's a little trick, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm so excited, that has been now researched at Harvard Medical School. And when you use it before an exam, you use it before like any competition, you use it before a speech, you use it before a big pitch, anything. I'm so excited to go in there. I'm so excited I worked so hard. I'm so excited I prepared for this. I'm so excited because regardless of what happens, I'm not gonna die, right? And so if you say that, you take control of what's going on in your brain and your body pays attention, and you just look at how different she looks. Literally, she is calm. She's not freaking out. Like you are literally, you're doing the next keynote. I'm out. All right, so how do you feel?
I feel good.
Okay, great. So what was your question?
Okay, so I have big dreams, and
Yeah.
sometimes they just feel like they're not quite out of reach, but they are. So I have a hard time. Like my dream is to be a cougar.
A who? Wait, a what?
A cougar.
A cougar, okay.
With lots of hot men around me in
Okay.
the beach, like.
Okay.
But that's like later.
Okay.
I got some years.
I have that feels like it's within reach. I don't know, right? Okay.
But so that's just for later. I'm talking about like career-wise.
Yeah.
It just seems like I'm stopping myself, or I'm so busy. I have 2 full-time jobs right now. Like I'm always on the run and on the go. I just don't know what I can do to get myself to do these other things, or what way to go.
Okay, so let's bring this. So now I'm going to coach you, and we're going to make it less kind of up in the sky and ground it in reality. What is the thing that you want to go pursue?
I just want to be the best I can be. Like I want my own business. I want
Great.
to be independent.
Great, so
I
you would
wanna
like your
move
own
out of my
business.
state, yes.
Okay, great. So let's start. So what do you want to do first? We're going to take them one at a time. Do you want to move out of your state first, or do you want to have your own business?
I think I want to move out of state first.
Okay, terrific. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use manifesting and goal setting properly, okay? Because so it's critical, everybody, to have huge dreams. And so I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them what is something that you dream about doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So for me, I dream about launching a podcast, like a big podcast. Like,
I thought you said rockets. And
no,
I was like,
no. Step aside, Joe Rogan. Mel Robbins coming through. All right, great. I'm just giving you a second. So even if you didn't have a chance, all right, come on back. All right, even if you didn't have a chance to say it, I know you thought it. And so here's the difference between dreams and goals. Dreams are the beacon, right? It's the lighthouse. Goals are the brick by brick path that walk you toward it. Okay, you need big dreams because they pull you out of the stress of your day-to-day life, they raise your gaze, and they remind you of where you're headed. And if you don't know where you want to head, there's a simple trick that can help you figure it out. Number 1, ask yourself, well, what do I not want? And move in the opposite direction. Number 2, who am I jealous of? Jealousy is blocked desire. You are jealous of people because you think you can't have the thing that you feel called to have. And so if you are jealous of somebody, it means inside of what they're doing or how they're being, there's something that is meant for you. Like you can't be jealous of something you don't want. I'm not jealous of anybody that has a penthouse, for example, in Abu Dhabi. I don't want to live there right now. Don't even feel anything when I think about it. It's not meant for me. But when you think about the things that you want, that is a really clear directional signal from your soul that you are not giving yourself permission to move toward those things. So jealousy is just blocked desire. So you know you want to, that's the dream. And so what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what are 2 things that somebody who's preparing to move out of state is doing in their day-to-day life.
saving money.
Okay. And I guess by the expression on your face, you're not that great at that.
Well, I was, and then I came here.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. Guess what? This is going to be money well spent. You invested in yourself, okay? And you know how to save money. And so by being on this stage, you got plucked up here because it's time to get serious about this goal. And so, couple things. Here's how you're going to use science to train your body to help you lay those bricks towards moving. You are not going to envision moving to the new state. You are not going to envision your new apartment. You are going to envision the annoying, pain in the ass stuff you don't want to do in order to have that thing come true. So you will envision yourself not going out with friends on the weekend because you're saving money. You will envision yourself only putting things in the Amazon cart, but not actually purchasing them, right? You will envision yourself opening up bills and noticing, oh, great, like I'm slowly like saving all, like what is one thing that you hate doing that you know you need to do?
Changing my litter box.
Oh, okay, that was not the one I was expecting. Related to money and saving money. Related to money and saving money.
Saving it. I've put whole paychecks in my savings account and it just hurts me a little bit.
Great. I want you to visualize and feel that it hurts. I want you to visualize that next paycheck going into saving and feel the like, and then I want you to say to yourself, I'm really proud of myself for doing that because that's going to help me go. And so for those of you, for example, that want to get in better shape, visualize walking in the rain because that sucks. And what happens when you visualize it and you feel it is you're training your body to expect that, which makes it more likely that you will take that paycheck and put it in savings, or you will keep walking as the rain comes because you've already mentally rehearsed this moment in your mind. This is the way that a team of 9 psychologists are training our Olympic athletes in the United States. This has deep research with it. So stop thinking about the state and start thinking about all the annoying little stuff you got to do right now, and you will be there before you know it. You got it?
Yes.
Good.
Oh
Go do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So number one, if you are miserable in your life, and the way that I would unpack this is to say, if there are aspects of your life that you would not high five.
Yeah, there's an understatement.
Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's true.
Yeah,
Isn't that
for
like a
sure.
simple way? If you
Yeah.
think about the person that you're dating or that you're married to and you would not give them a high five,
Oof.
that's a sign. That's a wake-up call. And it doesn't mean you necessarily have to leave, but it means you basically only have a couple choices. Either you get serious about what you want and you do the work to change how you're showing up and see if that changes the dynamic, or accept the way that it is, because it's not going to change, or leave. Those are your options. There's no middle ground here. Things do not change by just giving it more time to change. That's not how the world works. So that's rule number one. So if there's an aspect of your life, if you think about walking into the job that you have, and you do not want to high five the job, you do not want to high five the person you work for, you do not want to high five what your life looks like, change it. Because that is your body and your energy telling you it's not what you're up to in your life. It's not aligned with who you're meant to be. That's why you feel unhappy. That's why you feel constrained. That's why you feel depleted. The second thing that she said that you need to take to heart is that you got to be willing to ask for help, period. Because you don't have to do anything on your own, not in today's world. And help could mean taking an online course. Help could mean asking friends to support you. Help could mean asking your parents to let you sleep on the couch or move into the basement for a couple months while you figure it out. Help could mean asking your girlfriends to watch your dogs or watch your kids or watch whatever until you figure it out. So that's another thing she said. The other thing is this is it. This is it right here. This is the money. This is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is what I call a high five attitude. It's an attitude that's not grounded in arrogance. It's an attitude that you have, which is grounded in optimism and faith, and this belief that through your own attitude and your own effort, you can have a positive impact on any situation. In other words, just what Tara said, you can figure it out. And so then there will come the time when you got to jump. So you can figure it out. That's your attitude. Ask for help. That's one of the things you're going to do because you don't have to do this alone. And you're right. And the next thing is you got to be willing to jump. And jump may mean that you're going to actually quit the job or you're going to leave the relationship. Or jump may mean that you're going to build a runway. And so one of the things that I really want to compliment you on is that you've been, how long have you been thinking about opening your own studio?
Since I first saw that I can gather a crowd, when I first saw that I had something unique.
Okay, and when did you realize that?
Pretty soon after I started. I've been a teacher for 6 years. People told me immediately that I should open my own thing, that I should do my own thing.
Okay, so
6 years ago.
Did you hear that, everybody? For 6 years, this has been building inside of her. And look, that's okay. Because sometimes you got to stay in something that's uncomfortable and do it in somebody else's business or somebody else's method to start to build the confidence so that you know you can figure it out, so that you know you've got the people to ask for help, so that you know you're ready to jump. And so one thing about Tara is she has been literally building a runway for 6 years. You have. And so I want you to understand that you're about to see Tara and I make a map. We're going to map out kind of what she needs to do between now and the studio opening so that she can fund her life, so that she can raise a little bit of money, so that she can get some momentum, so that she is busy putting strategic blocks in place. I want you to realize that if you're not ready to jump, all of these things are things, all of these examples that we're going to give you in the map that we're going to build for Tara, a lot of which she's already assembled, are meant to show you that it is possible to build a pathway between where you are and where you want to go. And you lay it brick by brick. And so for 6 years, keep in mind, even though Tara says, 2 days ago you quit your job?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
So this is fresh. But for 6 years, she has been building a runway, right? So we're building a runway. And what's the purpose of the runway? The purpose of the runway is so that the plane can actually take off. The plane doesn't take off back here. So she's been teaching. She's been building an email list. She has a website, which is we're going to put it up for you, Love Offensive, so that you can check out Tara, so that you can take her classes, so that you can support her campaign. She's been doing retreats on her own. They're amazing. She's been doing all this stuff for 6 years so that when she was ready to go, she had built a runway to take off. And so it's important, no matter where you are, to start putting the blocks in place. Well, now that you see that, now let's talk about this. So it's pretty easy to create a map. And I like to do it visually because it's so important when you're trying to make something happen, that you get out of your head and you can see it. And I'm like a super visual person. So today is, I don't even know what the date is. What is today?
The 16th.
September 16th.
Yeah.
Okay, September 16th. And when I talked to you 2 days ago, guys, 2 days ago, she quits her job, she signs a lease, she's like, Mel, I got a couple $1,000s. Like, that's what I got. Okay, so the 16th, we got, whatever. We're just gonna put like 1K. She's got more than that, but whatever. October 1st is what? When you get the
lease, I get the keys.
October 1st is when she gets the keys to her new studio space. And what is the business going to be called?
Little Roadie Hot Power Yoga.
And when are you going to open the doors so people can come into the space?
Well, hopefully as soon as possible. I think realistically in December.
Okay,
probably.
great.
Yeah.
And here's what I like. Here's what I want to point out. I think giving yourself some breathing room between getting the keys and actually doors open is super important. One of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is that we rush. And we, in rushing, put way too much pressure on our dreams. And so because of today's world and because of streaming and because of technology, these are the gifts, by the way, of the pandemic. People are so used to taking classes online now. They're so used to streaming yoga classes. They're so used to using Zoom that your actual business is up and running now or can be up and running fast before the doors open. And by giving yourself 2 months, which I think is a very realistic time frame, from keys to doors open, you can now build the new runway, right? So this was the runway to be able to quit. Now we're going to build a runway that is same thing from right now to December 1st, right? So all these little things just become dots on the map that help you gain momentum. Pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. And having 2 months to be able to do that, to start laying out the bricks, is exactly what's going to allow you to breathe and to be present. And that's super important, because when you're giving birth to anything, when you're creating something, it's such a magical time, because there's so many people that are going to be drawn to this, because we are all longing for a sense of magic and vibrancy and something new. And so people are going to be excited that you're taking this on. And I want you to be able to be present and not stressed and frazzled and coming from scarcity, so that you can actually spot and witness all of the incredible things that are lining up for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Having that kind of high five mindset, that life is high fiving you back.
Yes.
And being able to see the magical ways in which that's happening, it's everything. So let me share, I'm gonna have Tara share with you basically 2 things that she's done, because the second that I found out that she quit, I said, great, no problem. You don't even need to worry about the money, because we're going to raise money and make money online as a way to fund your life and business before you even start.
Yes.
And we are going to also be able to utilize the 6 years of goodwill that you have built up by being everybody's, go-to yoga teacher. And you got people through the pandemic. So people want to support you. And so why don't you tell everybody what you did immediately that falls into the ask for help?
You're not really kidding with $1,000. I really jumped with absolutely no net and a faith that part of the runway is that I just constantly was where I said I would be when I said I would be there. That consistent reliability has built people to trust me.
Yeah.
So I need to turn and little by little, not ask too much from one person, but I started a GoFundMe campaign.
Great.
With an estimated cost of opening the studio, a line item of everything from a
It was 60 grand, right? Mm-hmm. 60 grand. So she started a GoFundMe campaign a day ago. How much money do you have already?
$9,000.
$9,000. And the average, it looked like the average donation was about $1,000. And so I asked her, and here's the thing, if you've already been out in the world doing good, or you have an incredible business plan, a GoFundMe campaign is extraordinary, because none of us like to ask for help. We think we're supposed to do it all on our own. The fact is, other people want to help you, especially if you've been showing up for them.
That's it.
And so a couple things about GoFundMe campaigns. There's some really interesting research that once you get to 50%, the majority of GoFundMe campaigns that are that reach 50% or more funded, they actually, like 90% of them go on to be fully funded.
Oh, nice.
And it's because people want to bet on something.
Yeah.
The other thing that you should do is put a video up. So right now, there's her page right there. I want you to put a video up. Really speaking from the heart, I want you to put a video up touring your new place and your vision, because that allows people to invest in the emotion and the vision, not just investing because of their relationship with you. Yeah. And your GoFundMe campaign will go a little bit wider, okay? So those are 2 things I want you to do. I want you to do a video, and for now, just let people donate. But if you really want to supercharge it, in about a week, send out to everybody that everybody that's donated, here's a link to a class as a thank you that you can play forever. And maybe it's a class that's for free on your Facebook page. It doesn't matter. You're just sending them a thank you. Then what I want you to do is I want you to say, for anybody willing to donate $1,500, I will give you a year membership to my new studio.
Oh, that's great.
And so or maybe it's $2,000.
Yeah.
You get a year of streaming, a year of unlimited classes. You're a part of the founders circle. Yep. So you're going to want to ask for, and this is almost like when a company raises money, you'll get X percentage company. You'll get equity in this company if you give us a certain amount of money to invest in our growth.
Yes.
And so you will then, ask for something, 1,500, whatever, 99, whatever it is that you think that is for a 1-year value. And then that allows people to double down. You thank them for whatever they gave, and it allows people to double down. Now, if anybody already gave you that, write to them and say, here's what I'm going to do for you because you gave me that already. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. So that'll help you supersize this.
Awesome.
Then what you want to do is figure out how you can start, and you've already done this. So right now we've got the GoFundMe right here.
Yep.
You are also now starting to stream classes where people can pay per class.
Yes, on Zoom.
Excellent. Okay. The other thing that you've done, I've noticed, is that when October 1 happens, that you are streaming and you are giving people the option to get a month, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the people that have paid this will automatically be part of that. Now, here's where social media comes in. I'm sure you were already going to do this, but when you're streaming those classes, make sure you're in the empty studio so that you are inviting people into the new space.
Great.
And at the end of every space, thank everybody who is part of your founder's circle, who has donated $1,500 to have access for a year or whatever you're going to charge, right? And so you've done your class, you thank everybody that paid, and say, if you're interested in becoming a member of our founder's circle, this is something that we're doing until doors open. Share it with your friends. Anybody can take yoga class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You got that?
Yes, yes.
Your social media strategy should be taking everybody along the journey with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Live streaming every day. Guys, I'm here. We're putting up the paint color. Do you like lilac or blue?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, this is what happens today. Cannot thank my founder's circle enough. You want to make sure your social strategy is all about this journey. Got it? And the GoFundMe link is the link in all your social bios now.
Yes. Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
My name's Amber Parsons. I homeschool my children.
Yep.
And I want to, I also run a ceramic business, but I want to go into mental health and create an art therapy program.
Great. Here's what I love about you. Could you tell as she was sharing that with us that you were unsure about that?
Yeah. I'm really sure about what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's like putting the words together to tell other people it.
What is the block?
I don't know exactly. Actually, the block for me getting there, I think, is I'm afraid, I just found out I have ADHD this year.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, but it's really relieving to find out that you have it.
Anybody else been diagnosed? Great, I'll speak about this in a minute. Okay, go ahead.
But my habits of my ADHD brain totally stop me sometimes.
Okay.
Get right in my way.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think it's something deeper.
It's probably something deeper.
Yeah. I think that there's probably some mix, and I'm only saying this because you are homeschooling, so you're very dedicated to your kids and nurturing them, that there's probably some mix of it would be selfish or something, it would impact them negatively.
I want to do it I don't want to give up homeschooling.
Okay.
I think
nobody said you had to.
Right, exactly. But it's like trying to figure out, maybe convincing other people that I could do that.
Why do you have to convince anybody else?
I don't.
So how many of you are relating to this right now? That as everybody's kind of sharing what they're wanting and what they're struggling with, you see yourself. There's only one person that needs to feel inspired and convinced, and it's you. And you could take 11 years to do this because you could find a certification online. My husband got an MBA in 7 years. He went to one class a semester when we had young kids. And because that's all we could afford. And that's all we had time for with both of us working and having young kids. There's a million paths to getting what you want. You just have to find the confidence to be able to start and to say, this is what I'm doing. Doesn't matter if it takes a year, 10 years, 20 years, this is what I'm doing. And I'll tell you another reason to do it. Your kids learn by your example, not by your words. And so if you want your daughters and your sons or your kids that identify in any range of the spectrum to pursue their dreams and be themselves, you have to show them what that looks like. And so if mom is taking a Thursday night to go to an online course, you are demonstrating what it looks like to prioritize time for your dreams. You're demonstrating what it looks like to have values that align with your actions. And that will seep into the pores of your children. And so you're the only person that needs convincing.
Yeah.
Is there another layer to this that you see?
My husband probably wouldn't be on board with it.
Wouldn't?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because he's already successful.
So?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you asked him?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
No.
Why? Why?
Because how would I homeschool the kids?
Well, you will show him how you're going to do it.
I do. I actually secretly under the table already look at it deeply, and that's how I know I'm gonna do it.
Right?
But, yeah, just like do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that's important, but I think the bigger issue is why should you be supporting his dreams if he's not supporting yours?
That's true. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
No,
I'm serious. You clearly have something that would make you come alive. He has a fear.
yeah, not having control of all the things.
Maybe. Maybe he has a fear of losing you.
That's
Maybe he has a fear that the way that things are working, it's all going to fall apart. Maybe he thinks like everything has to happen like this, so he doesn't understand you're talking one class for 5 years on a Thursday night. But at some point, this also requires you to own your own happiness, because he's not responsible for it, you are. He's not responsible for your dreams, you are. And he's not responsible for getting on board with this. You're the one that needs to create the permission and then enroll people around you.
Yeah,
He doesn't get to choose, by the way.
that's true.
I'm serious.
I know that deep down inside.
Right?
Yeah.
So my concern is this, that when we don't have these conversations about the bigger issues of fear and control and my dreams, and that there's a way to do both, we end up doing things that feel sneaky and undermine trust. And so it's important that where you see that you can't be your authentic self, you start to have those conversations, because I want you to grow in your relationship. And there's a way for you to do that, even with somebody who's scared of you growing. But you have to be the one that leads the way. Okay?
All right.
I know it scares the hell out of you. Let me have this. Great job, by the way. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you like this one, I have a feeling you're going to like this one too. I'll see you there.